Yo, what's going on, guys? So today, I've got a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time. The Creed franchise, well, really the Rocky franchise, has been one of my favorites since I was just a fragile little boy. But I've loved and watched every Creed movie in the theater when it came out, and I'm really excited to show you guys why I love these movies so much. So the first Creed is, I would say, a sequel reimagining? I don't know. Whatever. It's a continuation of the Rocky franchise, and it follows Apollo Creed's son. So he's an orphan and is the byproduct of an affair. So, yeah. Alright, not off to a good start. But when he was in his teen years, his wife takes him in and raises him as her own. So, as you can imagine, the fortunes of being a wife of a former heavyweight champion of the world comes with a fair share of perks. So yeah, Creed definitely went to college and has a great job in this office right here. So, yeah. But that's not his true calling, So that's how you know he really is made for this shit. So he quits his job to pursue boxing. Damn, that's how you know it's real. And this movie is a great origin story for Creed, as it has vast similarities to the first Rocky movie, with him being the underdog that's not really that big in stature at all, taking on the then champ, meeting his love interest for the series, which I think is a great love story, by the way. And just a grimy, gritty feeling of Philadelphia is so present in this movie, and I think that's why I really love it so much. Coogler and Jordan are a great team, and this movie is just another example of the great art that these two put out. I definitely think that this is the best directed movie of the series, as Coogler is great with his visual storytelling and knew the importance of capturing the Philly aesthetic. As far as the characters go, it gives you all you need. Stallone pulls out a performance I haven't seen from him since the first Rocky movie, if I'm being honest. Every scene with Rocky in this movie is just so good. Like, everything that comes out of his mouth just sounds like a grandfather I never knew I needed. I love when he does a little... Him and Jordan's dynamic is so great in this movie, and it just gives me this cozy feeling, Just so warm. Just like, damn, I really want to have to talk to this guy. I can really see why people were pushing for this man to get an Oscar for this movie. And Jordan also does an amazing job capturing a man yearning for a father figure. The thing about Creed, though, is this man is a very troubled individual. Just with the sheer mention of his father, this man just gets so defensive. It's hilarious. At any point in this trilogy where someone just mentions his father, he just, goes on a fucking rampage. And Bianca isn't just some love interest with nothing really going for her. And, at least she has a career. And, I can't really stand when a love interest just adds pretty much nothing to the story. It just has no ambitions or anything of their own. It's just, they're just the love interest. I hate that. I also love that in all these movies where some of these punches, this motherfucker's actually taking them. And you can really feel these punches. You can really feel them. And there's this one fight in the movie where the whole thing is just a oneer. And, guys, if you know me, I love me a good oneer. It's honestly one of my favorite scenes in the movie. A good one-shot is always appreciated, and the editing in this movie is done extremely well. Not a lot of quick cuts or anything like that, but yeah, you guys know I hate that shit too. But yeah, guys, this one focuses a lot on his come-up and establishing himself as a fighter. It's a great way to start off a trilogy, and honestly, this maybe is my favorite one. I don't know. It's something about an origin story that just has so much sauce to me. Oh, and side note, I love this original theme for all these movies. I truly feel like I can conquer the world when I hear it. I mean, just listen to this shit.
Go get him.
So yeah, 10 out of 10 movie and one of my all-time favorites. Well, this one's going to be tough to top, so let's look at the next one, shall we? So, the second Creed film takes place a few years after the first, and we get right into the thick of things, with Creed taking on a title fight. So yeah, this movie just wastes no time, and he wins it, of course. But, people, so he immediately gets discredited and doesn't feel like a champion. But I will say that this movie is just as funny as the last one.
What's with the hair? I combed it.
And I like how it's funny without just being bombarded by stupid jokes, So anyway, this movie really focuses on the family dynamic of Creed and truly making a name for himself outside of his father. In this movie, he's face to face with his father's literal murderer. So yeah, it's a lot for him to take in. So for the majority of this movie, he's fighting his own personal goals, and he has no real purpose when he's trying to fight other than hatred. And this movie takes a little bit of inspiration from Rocky 3. I mean, he's the champ in this one. Rocky was the champ in that one. He fights a newcomer that is clearly more gifted than him. They both go into the fight cocky and then eventually get their asses whooped. Jesus Christ, this is low-key a copy of it. But don't worry about that. Anyway, like I said, This movie puts a lot of time into the family element of Creed. He proposes to his girl at the beginning of the movie, and they're just so dang cute. I can't even lie. Then a quarter of the way through, they find out that Bianca's pregnant, and the baby they have takes up a good portion of the film. I really feel like it was a very realistic approach to how people would have kids, especially with his wife's predicament, as I didn't mention it in the first movie. But she has progressive hearing loss, and she asked how he would feel if it was hereditary, and he didn't know how to answer that. And I feel like he answered how any other person would. It's a very real question, and that real people watching this movie can actually relate to. And I love that. I think my favorite parts of this movie are all the family stuff that's in here, growing the characters and just having us feel more related to them. While the boxing scenes in the film are still really good and very well done, it's just missing that flair and grit that the first Creed film had. When I learned that Coogler didn't direct this, I wasn't surprised because I knew something felt a little off. And just a different feel, not bad, but just different. The training montages in the movie are more of a spectacle. You can visibly tell they had a higher budget for this film. And they're done really well. Like, some of the shit he's doing in this movie is pretty fucking insane. Like, just look at this. The fuck is this, Killmonger? And the movie just looks a little more glossy, with it having more money than the last. I feel like the Rocky franchise is at its best when it's a little grimy and just a little dirty. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I will say that the villains I don't know if you'd call them villains, but the core antagonists, if you will, are definitely better than the last movie. I will say that each installment of the franchise, antagonist-wise, gets better and better with every movie. And I can't say that for most franchises, so there's a win. But Drago and his son are actually really sentimental in this film. Because in the movie where Drago killed Apollo, like, you fucking hate this guy. Like, I really couldn't imagine a world where people would actually feel bad for this man in that film. But here, you can really feel the side effects of what it has done to him. How he feels that he let his country down, and all the people that he loved turned on him, who his country counted on, and when he lost, they just shoved him aside like he was nothing. And I really liked it about this movie going into it because you really don't think that you're going to feel bad for them at all. But the movie does a great job at having the audience sympathizing with our antagonist. And at the end, where Drago finally loses, he finally realizes that what he was chasing really was never loyal to him, because their love is conditional, and that's some really powerful stuff. I cannot lie. Like, Dolph Lundgren is actually acting in this film. Like, it's amazing what the Rocky franchise does to people. But the final fight in this movie is done really well. I don't know if I quite like as much as the final one from the first film, but I still think it's really good here. And nothing beats that original Rocky score.
And down goes Drago.
Nothing. So, damn good movie. Not quite as good as the last one, but still damn good. 8.5 out of 10. Alrighty, guys, we have finally gotten to the third installment in the Creed franchise. And this one, I've only seen once before. And that was when it came out last year, so I was in for a treat. Because I really liked it when it came out, But, when you first see a movie in theaters, you gotta take it with a grain of salt sometimes. Because, you're just seeing it for the first time. And it's like, you're not really analyzing it that much. Especially if you really have to see it. Just wait. What the fuck am I going with this? Oh yeah, my fault. The third Creed movie. So this one takes place at the end of his career, and it starts off with a flashback of Creed's past. But this is unrelated, but this song that just starts playing goes so hard. I'm sorry.
Things just ain't the same for gangsters. Times is changing.
But at the start of this, we see a young Creed and his friend, and it shows him, being a good boxer, having some talent. Flash forward, and he's in prison. So yeah. What a fall, my guy. But at the start of this movie, you can just feel that there's a different style at the helm here. And that's because Michael B. Jordan directed this film himself, actually. It was actually his directorial debut. And I will say that he did an amazing job with this movie. He has said numerous times that he's a big anime fan, and you can really see the inspiration here. This one is just different than the other two, and I kind of like it a little more. I don't know, guys. The fight scenes in this one are just really dynamic, and they just look like they have so much life and energy to them. And I do really like that every movie in this trilogy has a different director in it. It keeps the series fresh, and I can always respect a franchise for doing that. But this story is a very personal one for Creed, as in contrast with the other two, where his father's influence and name was really clouding a lot of the narrative in the story. But in this one, it deals a lot with his past traumas as a youth and how it's affected him in all these years. The other movies touch on it for just a little bit, but never to this extent. You saw snippets on the little things that he keep in and not tell his wife, but now all those things come to a head when a close childhood friend comes back in his life after serving time for trying to help him out and just being a good friend to him. But yeah, prison changes people, and Creed finds that out the hard way, to say the least. I will say that Majors, along with Jordan, of course, is doing an amazing job in this movie. They're both giving it their all. And you can really tell that this is Jordan's character. I believe that this is who he will be remembered for instead of like Killmonger, if whatever. Because when I think of Jordan's career, this is the first role that comes to mind. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But him and Majors have great chemistry in this movie. And yeah, I know everyone is anti-Majors right now for obvious reasons. But still doesn't change that he's a great actor and he really shines here. He plays the shy, jittery, a little off kind of ex-con very well, but that's only before he gets what he wants and gets the shot at the title. After that, he just, fine. He just plays Creed like a drum here, and I won't even lie. And, well, the way he gets his title fight is he gets his inmate from prison to start a fight with Drago's son. So yeah, he's in the movie too, by the way. So yeah, he just starts this fight at this album release party or whatever that he got invited to. But my only question is, how the hell did this guy even get in? He couldn't have invited him. He's a +1. A +1 can't give out invitations. Whatever, man. Doesn't matter. But another thing is, it is a little ridiculous that he actually gets his title fight because he's damn 40, but hey, more serious things have happened. But also in this movie, though, is Creed and Miyaka's daughter. And as you can see, she's grown up quite a bit. And I love their dynamic throughout the entire movie. I don't see many good black family dynamics on film, so this is a true delight to see here. Sorry, guys. And also, I love the representation of deaf people as well here. The movie never gives you the vibe that you should feel bad for her at all. And the fact that her whole family learned sign language for her was great. I loved it. And the fact that the young actress is actually deaf in real life honestly makes it even cooler to me. Now, the fighters in this movie were a little questionable, honestly. Just one. Well, I mean, honestly, just one. It's this guy right here. Because in this movie, he's supposed to be the reigning, defending heavyweight champion. And, I don't know about you guys, but I don't see any heavyweight here. And this guy was supposed to fight Drago in this movie. And, I can confidently say that Drago is going to follow in his father's footsteps. Come on, just look at this guy. But I do find it hilarious that Majors just fights dirty like he is true by any means necessary. And it's even more funny that none of the refs are good at their job in this movie at all. I don't know. But all the boxing scenes are very, very well done. Like I said, these are the best of the series in my opinion. Especially the fight between Creed and Anderson, Majors' character. It's really powerful, and Majors just has such an uncharacteristic and unorthodox fighting style that just makes it so damn fun to watch. This one scene where there's just them two in the ring and is maybe one of my favorite in the movie. Honestly, maybe in the franchise, honestly. Maybe in the franchise, to be honest. I do really like that their fight is like a battle of LA or whatever. And they're just in the middle of Dodger Stadium. This is fucking history right here. I don't know about you guys. But my only gripe with this fight is that it doesn't have the iconic Rocky music in the background and the climax of it. And, yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer. And, yeah, as you guys can, tell, Stallone is not in this movie. I don't know if you guys know. But, yeah, Stallone is not in this movie. And, it is a bummer that Stallone in the studio couldn't work out a deal. So, as a result, he's just not in it at all. But I won't say that it's a terrible thing, as Creed gets to truly build his own legacy, and the story is just about him. And I think it's a huge positive for the ending of this trilogy, because it is his story, truly, and nothing from the old guard. But, yeah. But, guys, I really, really like this movie this time I watched it. I honestly liked it more than what I did before. I've had so much fun rewatching these movies and showing you guys how much I love them and what they mean to me. It's one of the only trilogies that I can say doesn't have a single bad installment, or mid-installment for that case. And I absolutely adore the shot at the end of this movie with the entire Creed family in the ring with each other. It just makes my already broken heart melt. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll have more for you guys soon. Stay safe. Peace. And yeah, let me know if you guys want me to do any more film series in one video like this. Okay, now, bye.